to the Start and Succeed podcast. My name is Kelly Bremer, I'm your host, and I'm here every single week talking to you about business, leadership, and that all important mindset. Now that brings me to the topic of today's discussion, today's podcast, and that is mindset, particularly growth mindsets. Now, you may know we flex between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset very, very often. And that's because A, we have emotions, we're human. So there are things that are going off internally with us that are making us feel a certain way. But also there are external things that can influence the way that you act and the way that you feel. So when you're in a fixed mindset, you might not be feeling that great about things. You might be feeling like you're never going to develop, like you just don't have it within you to do the thing that you set out to achieve. Maybe you focus on your failures rather than on your successes, on your weaknesses rather than your strengths. But if you're in a growth mindset, so the days when you're feeling more positive about things, you know that the opportunities are endless. You know that if you take action, if you are really focused on achieving something and setting yourself a strategy for getting there and taking that damn action to get there, you know that you can do it. So the two are very different, and we do flex between the both, and that's absolutely fine. But I'm going to share with you some tips today that can really help you in getting more into that growth mindset more regularly. And even when you're not feeling that great and you are kind of struggling to have that optimism, you can put some of these strategies in place to help move you out of that. So first up, the first tip I'm going to share is I want you to focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. Now we all have strengths, we all have weaknesses, we all have things that we can develop on and that we're not that great at, and we also have things that we're really good at, that we really excel at. So I want you to take some time, first of all, to get started on listing out your strengths, things that you're really good at, that sit within your comfort zone, that actually make you the amazing person that you are today. Then I want you to flip that on its head, and I want you to focus on your weaknesses. Now the reason I want you to do this is because often we're not very good at assessing what we can do about those weaknesses. So we may focus on having the weaknesses and knowing that we're not good at something and complaining about it. But how often do you actually take action to do something about that weakness? Now, there are some things that you'll assess, that you'll look at, you'll address the fact that it is a weakness for you, and you may not want to do anything with it because it's really not something that you want to focus on. But there are going to be other things that you know you're not so great at, that you want to improve upon, and that's the bit that I want you to focus on. So if you list out those weaknesses, things that you're not so good at, the things that push you outside of your comfort zone, I then want you to take a look at the top 2 or 3. And I want you to assess them with the mindset of what action can you take in the next couple of days. Just one step, it doesn't have to be massive amounts of action. Just one step that you can take with each of them in the next couple of days to help you feel more comfortable about it, to help you develop. Now that might just be actually looking into that weakness a little bit more to understand why you feel it's a weakness, why it's something that you're not that good at, and assessing again whether or not it's something that you actually want to focus upon, or whether or not you want to cast it aside and focus on something else. So focus on your strengths, first of all, list them out, because you want to feel bloody amazing right now. And then I want you to focus on your weaknesses. I want you to take the top 2 or 3. I want you to look at them, to assess what action you could take over the next couple of days, just a small step to help you progress in those particular areas. The next tip I want to share with you is to focus on the journey, not just on the end goal. Now, you may have a number of goals in your mind about what you're focusing on for the next 6, 12 months, maybe longer, maybe shorter. And you've no doubt thought about the steps that are going to take you on that journey. and you might be making really good progress. You may not. But if you just focus on that end goal, that end place, and you're looking at it going, I'm going to feel amazing when I get to that point, you've forgotten the journey. When you've got there, you've not really assessed and thought about everything that you've learned along the way. All of the skills that you've then been able to learn, all of the experiences that you've had, all of the people that you've been able to meet. That journey is the most important bit. Yes, the goal is going to be bloody amazing when you get there. But if you don't enjoy the journey and don't embrace it, successes and failures, you're going to get to that goal and really not understand how you've got there. And there's probably a good amount of time that you've not really focused on just living and developing and achieving and being the most amazing version of you. Then the next step is I want you, going back to your goals, to list them out. What goals are you currently working on? And what steps are you actually going to take to get you there? Now, the journey is the most important bit, but you need to know those steps. You may know them already, you may not. So write down your goals that you're working on at the moment. Try not to focus too much on too many all at the same time, because that will end up in possibly overwhelm and feeling like you've got too much to do and not enough hours in a day. Trust me, I'm speaking from a lot of experience in that field, both for myself and with my clients. But if you can list out a couple of goals that you're working on, the key steps that you're going to be taking, and then really think about how you're going to enjoy that journey from point A, where you are today, to point B, where you want to be. The next one is eat the damn frog. Now, you've possibly heard the term. A lot of people talk about it in different ways, but if you're like me, I don't want to eat a frog. Really don't want to eat a frog in real life anyway. But when it comes to doing things that I need to do, things that I don't want to do but I know are actually going to help me develop, they're going to help the business, they're going to help my customers and my clients, I need to prioritise that first, which is eating that damn frog, even when I don't want to do it. So I want you to do the same. I want you to think about the one thing that you've been putting off, that you know is going to add so much bloody value, that's really going to up-level what it is that you're doing, either in your life or in your business. And I want you to just get it done. Don't keep putting it off. Don't keep pushing it to the bottom of your to-do list, because trust me, you will never get to it. There are so many things to do. I add so many every single day to my to-do list, and no doubt you do as well. So pick the thing that you've been putting off that you really don't want to do, that you know is going to add so much value, and get the goddamn thing done. Wake up tomorrow morning, put it in your diary today, wake up tomorrow morning and just do it. If you do it, trust me, you're going to feel bloody amazing, and then you're going to smash so many other things out. Okay, the next one, and this again is something that you possibly are going to find difficult, is I want you to ask somebody for some feedback. Possibly not even one person, maybe 2 or 3. People that you know who are going to be honest with you, that are going to give you constructive feedback, that aren't just going to fill you with flowers and roses and pretty things. I want you to ask somebody for some feedback, be that on you, on your business, whatever it may be. Ask them for feedback, because often we don't give people feedback enough. We tell them when things are really good. We possibly tell them when they're really bad. But how often are we sharing that constructive feedback with people that can help them to develop? Now, somebody might give you some constructive feedback that you don't like. That's the purpose of it. It's to make you understand what other people think about you, about your abilities, about your strengths, about your weaknesses. But if you don't ask for the feedback, if you don't get another perspective, you're only having your perspective to go from. So ask somebody. Ask a colleague, ask a business partner, ask a friend, ask a family member, ask your partner, whoever it may be. Ask people for constructive feedback. Now, you will probably find people that don't want to give feedback, that don't feel that it's going to add any value for you because they don't have time and they're not really thinking about you and your progress. But if you can really think about people that you know will give you good, honest feedback that is constructive, that is going to help you to understand the things that you could possibly develop on yourself, that's the important thing. So then I want you to get yourself a mirror, or possibly your selfie screen on your phone. And I want you to talk to it. I want you to talk to yourself. I want you to tell yourself 5, 10, however many you can think of, amazing things about you. Things that make you wonderful, things that make you unique, things that make you you. Now, as I say, you might feel uncomfortable doing this because often when we look in the mirror, we either don't pay attention to ourselves or we criticize ourselves. We pick on things that we're not happy with that particular time when we're looking in the mirror or that day, or we may just be in that much of a rush, we're not really paying attention. But I want you to carve out that time to just focus on you, to talk to yourself, to tell yourself how bloody amazing you are, the things that you love about yourself. Because trust me, you have this ego inside of you, this little chimp inside of you, and you may have read the book. I have it here, The Chimp Paradox. Now, we all have this little chimp in our minds. It sits on our shoulder often, and when we're feeling good, that chimp might be there telling us, you're not really that good. When we're feeling bad, that chimp is probably there validating the fact that you're not so good at something. So you've always got an internal battle with what's going off with your ego, what's going off with your mindset. So I want you to take some time out for yourself to think about the things that you love about yourself, the things that people tell you you're good at, the things that you know add value to not only yourself, but to the lives of others. Trust me, it's going to be hard. I've been there, I do it all the time. It is difficult some days, but if you can do that, you're going to feel more confident. You're going to feel better about yourself and about life in general. And then I want you to really think about where you're going. Think about the things that you want to achieve. Think about the opportunities that you have. Now, you might not think you have any opportunities right now to get to where you want to be. And there might be opportunities that have come up that you've said no to because they're scary. You're afraid of failing. You're afraid of judgment. But if you want something to happen, if you really want to make a change, if you want to up-level your mindset, up-level the performance that you can provide or that you can deliver, if you want to up-level the service that you can deliver to your customers, the value that you can add to your life, to your friends, to your family, to your customers, to your clients, whoever, you have to focus on you. If you don't focus on you, if you don't look for opportunities, they won't present themselves. If you look for opportunities, if you decide what you're committing to, those opportunities will come up. They may present themselves in ways that you never thought possible, but trust me, if you're dedicated to getting somewhere, you just take that first step, the next step will appear. You may not think that a particular door opens and it's the door that you want to take. You may have a choice between 2, 3, 4 doors. But if you always come back to why you're doing it, where you're going, what you're trying to achieve, trust me, the opportunities are endless. So they are my tips today that can really help you to just feel better, first of all, but to also move you into that growth mindset. So even if you're feeling like you can't develop, like your skills don't add that much value, like you don't have, I guess, anywhere of going, and you're not sure of the next step. If you do some of these activities that I've shared with you, not only are you going to start to feel better, and that may not be straight away, you may have to just repeat these a few times, but trust me, they will start to make you feel better. You'll feel better about yourself, about your skills, about your strengths, about your experiences that you've been through, and about the journey that you're on and the place that you are going. And if there's one thing I want to share with you before I finish, I was listening to a podcast by the lovely Carrie Green from the Female Entrepreneur Association. And there was a quote that she shared. I can't remember who it was from. I think it was Abraham Hicks. And that was, there may be things, don't quote me the exact words, but there may be things going off externally to you. Things might be happening to you that you cannot control, but you do have a choice. You have a choice how you respond. So if you get yourself into that growth mindset and you know where you're going and you know why you're doing it and you're feeling amazing in that process, you will respond differently to things that are happening to you that you have no control over. And even if you have no control over a particular situation, you'll be able to see, because you'll have the foresight of things that you can do and actions that you can take to help you with that particular thing. So thank you for listening today. I know I have shared a lot with you, so feel free to go back, to pause, to take some notes. But if you follow those tips and those strategies, I promise you, you will start to feel so much better about yourself. And if you can move more into that growth mindset more often, you're going to get so many more opportunities come up. You're going to have so much more success because you know that those opportunities are endless. You know that you are one hell of a unique individual that has so much to offer people, to have so much to offer to your friends, to your family, to your partner, to your customers, to your clients, and to yourself. There is only one of you. Even a twin, and I've said this in a previous episode, even if you had an identical twin, you are going to be different from them in some way. You have different ways of taking in information, of basically processing that information, and then communicating that information with your audience. And that audience, it doesn't matter if you've got a business or not, that audience is the people that you speak to day in, day out. Now I can say share these tips with you today. Some of you may find them really useful. You'll take them away, you'll implement them, you'll feel amazing. Others might listen to this and it doesn't go in. And that's because what I'm saying and the way I'm saying it isn't being receptive, or you're not being receptive to it, because I'm maybe not relaying the information in the way that you align with. But somebody else could say exactly the same thing in their unique way and you'll get it. So trust me, you are unique. You have, even if you're telling somebody exactly the same as what somebody else has told them, you have the ability to impact so many people's lives. So believe it. Take these tips, put the steps in action. Take that time and feel really uncomfortable in front of the mirror or on your selfie screen on your phone. Tell yourself how bloody amazing you are, because if you don't tell yourself, you may not have anybody else tell you. And that's why feedback is important as well. Now I'm going to go because I can ramble on, trust me, for England. So thank you for listening to me today. I really hope those tips help you to move more into that growth mindset, to know that your opportunities are endless, and to know that you are one hell of an individual. Thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you again soon.